know if we call you the former UFC champ or the Lucha Libre superstar. That seems to be the new one. Give us an idea, man. How are you enjoying that kind of new phase of your career?
Oh, I'm enjoying it a lot. It's just, yeah, you know, from like the practicing, like I'm learning like new things. It's making my mind work. It's pretty fun, you know, and then just doing the matches as well. It's just like, it's all lighthearted throughout the whole match. Being able to talk with the crowd or like, you know, just interact with the crowd in between is something that I haven't done, you know, with MMA.
Yeah.
And then I still get to do some of the same moves that we do in MMA, so that's pretty cool as well. So I'm digging it, yeah.
You seem to be pretty damn good at it as well. I mean, did you have any idea that like you had this talent?
Well, I mean, I haven't been doing it for that long, you know, so it was like, at first it was to see if I could even do it, you know, at all. And then once I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. I can kind of use stuff from MMA to like into this, into wrestling, and it just kind of all like it just kind of worked out with you know, with my style. So it was good, yeah.
How does it impact your fighting career? Because I think that's the question, right? I mean, if you can make money and have fun doing that, and not have to go in a real fight and get punched in the face, you know what I mean? Not a bad option, right? I mean, are you weighing that out as far as your future goes?
Well, as far as right now, I can only do one more show with AAA, and that's in October 13th, and that's how it is on my contract with the UFC. So after that show in October, we'll see what happens after that. But I still love fighting. I definitely love what I'm doing now, and I'm glad people are just digging it. You know what I mean? But for myself, like I'm having fun. So yeah.
Health-wise, where do you stand? I mean, could you fight if you had to right now, or do you need a little more time?
The knee isn't 100% yet. You know, I'm still wearing a brace when I'm working out and stuff. I think for fighting, it wouldn't be 100% yet. So once I get to that point, after October, I'm about to figure out what I want to do with the knee and everything. So that's still a factor.
Do you have a ballpark date in mind? I mean, or is it still too early to tell? I mean, could it be this year? Are we talking next year? What do you think?
I think it's definitely too early to tell right now. Well, for me, I'm just kind of focused on the task at hand, right? And you know, that's obviously the wrestling in October. You know, I want to just give out a good show for October, and then we'll see what happens after that. You know, if I want to keep, you know, doing some more wrestling, get a fight, you know, my options are open. So yeah.
What does your heart tell you? I mean, do you feel like you have to fight again, or do you feel like, hey man, I've done enough?
No, well, for me, it's more like I just kind of want to do what I want to do, right? Like what I'm loving to do right now, and I am loving the wrestling. Like I'm having fun. It's very lighthearted. Like it's a good time, you know, and I'm working with good professionals, and you know, just the whole company of AAA is amazing as well. So just the guys that they have, you know, that I'm competing against, they're really professional. They learn really fast. You know, for me, it's almost addicting because I still don't know it. Like I still don't know everything, but I'm just trying to learn as much as I can, and I can see how fast those guys learn because they've been in this business for a while. So, you know, I got goals.
It seems your family is also enjoying a lot this chapter of your career, the wrestling part, maybe more so than the MMA. How does that play into, you know, making a comeback into MMA? Does that even? I'm sure it plays a factor, right?
It does play a factor. I've never got to experience this with my family, you know, to have, like my wife, yes, she's gone out to my fights, you know, and obviously it's a lot more stressful, you know, because it is a fight. But now that I'm able to have my daughter there, she's 10, have her watch the wrestling, and she's a big fan of it already. Like, when I started getting into it, she started watching the matches with me, and she's become a fan. And my son is almost 2. He's a huge fan. He's already doing the stuff that he sees in the wrestling just out of nowhere. So that's something special that I've never got to like experience with my family, like in MMA. So that makes it really special for me, which is something that I didn't know that could happen, right? So I'm just happy that they get to be at the matches and really enjoy themselves. The last match, I didn't tell them what I was doing, so like all that was a surprise. They didn't think I'd be like jumping from the top ropes. I didn't think so. I'd be doing that either. But they were like pleasantly surprised, and just it was a good like surprise for them. Yeah.
We also know that pro wrestling is hard on the body as well. You know, although you're not actually fighting. But is it a lot smoother than MMA training?
Oh yeah, it is. The hardest thing I would say about pro wrestling is taking the falls, taking the bumps, but that's learning how to fall. I've done it so much, in everything I've done, wrestling, MMA, where somebody doesn't move on you, you kind of, instead of like you just falling flat, you're almost like a cat. You can like either roll out of it. So in that case, you can kind of like dictate like how you fall. So it's very controlled in that sense, but you have to do it yourself. You have to fall correctly. One crazy fall, you could definitely hurt yourself. Yeah.
Have you thought at all about not fighting again? I mean, have you had talks like just hang it up, not do it anymore?
Why?
I'm just curious because you got this sweet gig going, and everybody you seem to be really good at it, So I wonder if if it's a real consideration because fans they want to know, will we see him or not?
It all depends what happens after October. I would say, for wrestling to make sense, it'd have to be companies to pull me away from fighting. Like I said, that's what it would come down to. Companies would have to pull me away from fighting, make it worth my while to do that. So we'll see what happens.
Your good friend and training partner Daniel Cormier is fighting for the belt. Your trilogy fight with Stipe Miocic. What are your thoughts on that? It seems Ngannou was a player in those conversations, right? He's done put a good body of work as well. But what are your thoughts on that trilogy fight?
That's awesome. I didn't know that, so this is the first time I'm hearing it. Just that Daniel does want that trilogy match. He definitely deserves it. I believe he'll go out and win this, win for sure. He has everything he has all the tools to go out and do that. So I truly believe he wants it that bad enough where he'll go out there and be a champion again at heavyweight for sure. Yes.
You be a part of helping him prep for that?
Hell yeah, I will. So now that I'm obviously a little more healthy than the timing's a little better for his fight than the last one. So yes, I'll be in there for sure helping him. So no, man, I mean I think it's great, that he's doing this. So yeah, I'm happy for him.
What are your thoughts on Hubby after the last performance? I think a lot of people are saying best pound for pound fighter on the planet. Is that what you believe?
He's amazing, man. He's a beast. Yeah, I believe that. He's so dominant everywhere, right? This pressure. He just looks amazing. Looks, very hard to beat. So yeah, I would say that.
And one of your biggest fights in your career was against Brock Lesnar. Would you ever consider wrestling him?
I would consider wrestling Brock, yes, but I think not the best, but I think that like the match in my mind, like that I would pick out like out of anybody, it'd be The Rock. I'd want to wrestle against The Rock.
Cool. That's certainly fun. Has that long time been in your mind before you even started wrestling? Like hey, that'd be cool to share the ring with The Rock.
I thought it would be. I think that's like the ultimate like match for me, but. Again, I've been doing it for such a short time where I'm very crash course in it right now. Me, like my whole family is. So we're learning as much as we can. We're just kind of diving into it, right? And like watch as many matches as we can, trying different moves. Like just think of a move and go out like, hey, maybe I can try this, and see now how it works. So that's pretty cool that we get to do that,
Were you following Mexican wrestling for a long time before you got into it?
I wasn't. When I first started watching it when I was a kid, when I was like 3 or 4, I was. That's the first time I got exposed to any type of wrestling.
What were your favorite Mexican?
Well, fucking Santos, Blue Demon, Mil Máscaras, Octagon.
Okay, yeah.
So those guys are the guys that I first started watching.
And who coached you? Because do all what you're doing right now, it's not easy as you said. You need to learn to fall everything. Yes. So who was coaching you?
So, over in San Jose, I'm wrestling at Pro Wrestling Revolution. It's a gym, and Gabriel Ramirez is the owner, and then I would say my coach is Vinny Macero. He's taught me like all the different moves and stuff, and then I learned a lot when I do the matches. With Psycho Clown, Tejano Jr., Tauras, Rey Scorpion. Just learn from those guys when I have like just a short amount of time, like a day or two. I'll learn a lot from those guys. They'll tell me little tricks of the trade. Psycho was the one who told me to jump off the ropes. He's like, what do you think? Like 2 hours before the show, you want to jump off the ropes? And nothing for me, like nothing. And then he's like, yeah, you want to try it? I was like, okay, let's just practice it. Let's see if I can do it. Fuck it. And then, yeah.
Mexican fighters like Rey Mysterio, they do all this stuff. Any of them show you any moves?
I haven't, no, but I watch a lot of his matches. Yeah, Rey Mysterio, watch a lot of his matches. The Lucha Brothers right now are fucking legit. I like watching them. I like watching a lot of AEW's wrestling as well. But a lot of AAA. Watch a lot of AAA, yes. Yeah, thank you very much.